Hey guys, what's up? It's Marie Shadows, and this is an update podcast episode. I don't know if you guys like update podcast episodes or just a podcast about updates, but here we are. I know I haven't been posting as regularly as I normally do with podcast review shows and interviews, and that's just because for the 2023 year, this year has been a complete mess of ups and downs and some low moments and some triumphs and some amazing things that has happened towards the ending of the year, and some things that I am completely grateful for. First of all, I am grateful for the community that sticks with me here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you get your podcast from, and you listen and you decide to follow my podcast on Spotify, which, by the way, the 58 people that have followed me on Spotify, because you can follow the Square Circle podcast, the 58 followers that I have, thank you guys so much. I don't know who you are, which is totally okay. But if you ever want to be like, hey, I follow you, I support you, you can either DM me over on Twitter or send me an email at squaredcirclepodcast@outlook.com. I would love to know who follows me, just because, I like that sort of interaction, and that's a lot more intimate, but not in the other way, but just a lot more I want to get to know the community that wants to follow my podcast. And I really thank you guys for sticking around with me for the past 4 years. When we go to 2024, it's going to be year 5 of the Square Circle podcast. So 5 seasons of the Square Circle podcast. We are 300 plus episodes in, and I am loving what I do. I always love what I do. I just end up putting so much pressure on myself to succeed at something and do something completely different that no one else in the podcasting community does. And I'm always trying to find different ways to elevate this podcast and bring you guys with me. So because I am on the front lines of working in the business, such as being a commentator for indie promotions, such as Goddesses of War Wrestling, and in other places, and doing commentary, at home to help out promotions. And then also being media press for MOW and getting the honor and the privilege to go and cover the events, network over there. So because I am on the ground doing this, I want to take you with me. I want to take this podcast with me. Just recently, Elgato, if you guys are not familiar with the brand Elgato, they have a bunch of awesome products for you as a streamer and podcaster. They have you guys in mind, and I use their products all the time. The Elgato Wave 3 mic, if you guys ever want a mic to invest in, that's the mic I would tell you guys to get for your podcast shows. It is a little bit on the pricey side, but it's not overly pricey, but it gets the job done, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And then I also have the HD60S Plus capture card. That's whenever I set up my Xbox, so I can stream Fortnite or some other video game once I get exhausted from talking about wrestling and all the wrestling drama that happens. And so Elgato recently opened up their partnership program, and I decided to really go and apply for this partnership. And I made videos and tweets, and hopefully I get picked. And the one thing that I had pitched to them is that I would love for them to make a Bluetooth on-the-go mic. So that way when I'm out and about at the wrestling shows, the wrestling events, and I'm doing vlogs, or if I'm somewhere other, at a special event, and I'm doing vlogs and interviews in real time outside, I can have that with me and interview wrestlers and interview people, and it could just be all wireless. As much as I love the lapel mics, those wires get tangled and in the way, and it's so messy, and I don't really want them in the shot. So I was I would love to be the first representative of the Elgato brand to showcase the wireless mics if you guys ever make it, because I would love to take Elgato on the go, take you guys with me on the go, and it will be amazing. So that's what I recently did. And today is December 7th. And today is MOW One Shot. So today I'm going over to Queens and I'm going to be covering the event. And I'm going to be creating a vlog and other things. And I know that I have like stuff I have not released yet. And that's something that I want to talk about and get like real and transparent for a moment. And I know that this podcast episode would like live forever in the internet world. But just like this year alone, you know, it's hard to be a content creator on your own. There's just a lot of stress that goes into it. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. There's a lot of like doubting yourself because you want to be the very best in content creation. And I don't think that like, you know, sometimes doing the same things over and over and over again, you know, kind of helps. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm basically the type that, you know, wants to hit the ground running and have all these episodes up and stuff like that. But just lately it's been kind of hard to put up things because automatically my brain would be like, well, who wants to really see it? Who wants to like really interact with it? You know, just really putting a damper down on the who really cares type of thing. So if I haven't really been doing a very good job of being consistent like I have in the previous years, it's just that little voice in the back of my head about like my content and stuff just creeps through, you know. And plus anyway, like I said, this year has been all ups and downs. This year has been very like, you know, you started out with so-called friends and then, you know, you got thrown under the bus and then you created, when I say you, I mean me, but I'm just speaking like that. But, you know, and then I created the Discord for people to come in and talk about wrestling, and I got completely disrespected in that Discord, and that just really discouraged me from like anything else, just because of some assholes that didn't want to believe, you know, me working at WWE was an actual thing. And so I decided to create a business Facebook page with a Facebook group that's private. But I haven't really grown that, you know. So what I'm trying to say is that I totally forgot what I was saying before to bring this point all together about, so I guess that sometimes that voice in my head kind of wins. So I have a lot of stuff to release to you guys to watch. I just have to sit down and like just put everything together and, you know, get it through my head that there are people out there cheering for me, and I know that you guys are, you know. Sometimes you guys come into my DMs and like we high five, we talk like, you know, we've never left. Is that the thing I'm looking for? Probably not, but like we talk like best friends, you know, that we never missed a day, that type of thing. And I'm very grateful for like everybody and anyone. I do know that people just go through life on their own and they have their own thing, and you know, that's what being human is, that's what having a life is. But sometimes like being a content creator can be very lonely. So yeah, you know, if the reason why I haven't been really consistently uploading for like midway year to like now is just because of like the voice is sort of like winning in my head. That's just me being like completely honest with everybody. Not something to get a pity party from, not to be like, oh my God, woe is me. It's like, no, there are certain things that content creators go through that sometimes, you know, this is why they need their community and that support system. Even if it's like just a very quick, like, hey, how's everything? Or, hey, you know, I like what you're doing. Hey, you know, don't lose sight. You make very good content or something like that. And, you know, I get that. I get people who come in, give me high fives. Great, it's cool. Like I said, other people have lives. And I feel like I'm talking around in a circle. And by the way, I am recording this directly off of my phone. The cool thing about Spotify for podcasters is that I can still record these episodes directly from my phone. And I don't have to set up anything from like my laptop and get all big and fancy and stuff like that. Because I wanted this to be something special where I'm doing a voice message for all of my fans that have been with me for the past 4 years and any new listeners that come in and stumble upon this one podcast episode. But I felt like, if I kept putting this off, that I was never going to do it. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just talk and tell you guys and update you guys. There's no script here at all. No script at all. Everything is just me talking about things off the top of my head. The things that I am passionate about, the things that I sort of put too much guilt on myself because I don't produce the content that I want to produce. It's a very competitive space to be in the wrestling podcasting community, and podcasters in general don't last beyond 5 years, let alone 3. But here we are. Like I said, I love what I do, and 2024 and beyond is just going to be the start of everything new that I can think of. Okay, so let's sort of back up on a couple of things. I mentioned to you guys that I entered into potentially getting a partnership with Elgato, which I love them. I told you guys that today is MLW One Shot, and I'll be doing the media press for MLW One Shot. Let's talk about Spotify Wrapped, because I really want to say thank you to every single person that has ever listened to a podcast episode this year. The most listened podcast show episode was me talking about Friends, BSCS. If you know, you know. That one has gotten over 351% in listens. I believe that's what it was. That was the most listened to episode of 2023. And that's only because supposed friends shot themselves in the foot, were being children, threw me under the bus, discredited me for working for WWE, and didn't know how to tell their co-host that, hey, we don't want to work with you anymore, you're done. That one hurt a lot after the aftermath of it, just because, I thought I found a group of people that, we all had the same, not really the same ambitions, but similar ambitions in this podcasting game, and I guess not. And then when you can't be an adult about really sitting down and talking with people and being like, hey, I think that our ambitions are not the same. And I think that, we're growing apart, and we just don't have that same vibe. I wish you well in your podcasting future, and I hope that, you'll make more friends and memories with someone else. But, we just don't, think that we're the right fit to collaborate anymore. That's an adult thing to say to somebody rather than bringing them into drama that they had really nothing to do about, and just not wanting to be a part of it, but got dragged in anyway. But that's the gist of that podcast episode. But thank you so much for listening to that episode. I do not and I will say this now, I do not like to put people on blast like that. I really don't. But when you cross a line with me, when I have been completely generous, respectful, and definitely giving you my time and energy to put you on my platform as well through retweets, comments, even putting you over with other people to be yeah, you should work with them. And then when you cross that line, I will talk about it if I need to talk about it to bring aware that there are people that will do that shit, that will turn around a complete 180 and fuck you over. And that's why, sometimes good people just end up being semi-villain like, in the end. But normally I do not like to put people on blast. That episode and another episode of me having drama with another creator in the space is also in my back catalog. But yeah, like I said, if you cross a line, you may or may not get an episode about you, but to explain the situation and to have it as a teachable moment. I also want to say thank you so much for all of my listeners. I have gained 80% of listeners more than like last year. It's so awesome. It really is. I'm still listened to globally around the world. For 2024, I would love to get more listeners from obviously everywhere else in the world, but like Japan and New Zealand. Like, I want to get those numbers up because I do tend to talk about Hinare a lot. From the United Empire, Aaron Hinare, best buddy there. And then like New Japan Pro Wrestling, like that's my whole entire podcast sort of thing. I just don't call it like, a New Japan podcast. But the Squared Circle podcast tries its very best because I am the only host. I am the only editor. I am the only person that runs this huge ass ship that you guys are a part of. I try to cover all the wrestling that I can. That's why it's called the Square Circle Podcast. It may not be the most original one, but it's been going for the past 4 years, and it seems to just stick to everything. So that's what's going to stay. But mainly, my content is really talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling, reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that's like 90% of the content. So that brings me to say that thank you guys for sharing my interview with Clark Connors, 100 Proof Clark Connors. I was about to fuck up his little nickname. But I love Clark too, man. Clark is an amazing dude. So thank you guys for sharing that podcast interview with me and Clark the second time around to everyone and all of your friends. Thank you so much. And then also, thank you for tuning into the episode where I talk about Bullet Club War Dogs and give you guys a review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion of this year. And that's also another big, thank you. I do want to become the professor again, the professor of New Japan Pro Wrestling, just because, my insight and my takes and my story breakdowns for New Japan Pro Wrestling, I just want to talk to people about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love it. I love the content. No wrestling promotion is ever going to be perfect. It really isn't. It's never going to be perfect. Because I know New Japan is still dealing with certain things, but, it's never going to be perfect. But yes, that's the stuff that I really want to mention about the Spotify Wrapped. The numbers were a lot different from last year, and that's just because of how everything went this year. You're not always going to have a golden year every single year that you make content. You might have a very good year at one point, and then next year it's what the fuck is going on? That was this year. 2023 was the what the fuck is going on this year type of deal. But 2024 just feels like a whole brand new start. I managed to take this break by just relaxing at home, doing little things here and there, checking Twitter, which has become a complete cesspool of really more tribalism than normal. It feels like it increased so much. But moving forward in 2024, there are some ideas that I've had, and I want to just run them by you guys. And you guys can, again, email me at squaredcirclepodcast at outlook.com, or leave a voice message. I would love to get to hear your thoughts. I really would, because I want to create this as a community where I can look at, what you guys think about this or that. So here we go. Because I'm using my phone to give you guys a voice message and update on stuff, I do think that sometimes Twitter provides gems and some really bad takes where I can talk about it, give my opinion, and it's never a personal attack on the person, but it's just giving my 2 cents on the opinion that I see from somebody, especially if I have something to say about it. And I think like that will be very good for, the show. To have little voice messages like this from my phone that I could just pick up, talk about it, and bam, you guys can like chime in on that. There will be no bashing of this at all. It's just a regular conversation to talk about the opinion at hand if I see something that has been like, why? I've seen a couple of them, and I was really thinking about like just doing a quick little segment on here and talking about it, but I wasn't sure. Let me know if you guys think that we should definitely do that. The other thing too is that I want to use segments in my podcast episodes. So for example, right, tonight is MLW One Shot, and let's say that if I do run into some wrestlers and ask them for a quick little mini interview, do like a little segment, and then include that in the podcast episode of me talking about the show. Like, that's what I really want to do going forward, is that whenever I'm doing media press or I'm doing commentary, I do want to not only have a vlog, but also an accompany podcast show with it. Because I might have missed some stuff from the vlog that I can talk about in the audio podcast and include those little segment bites in there. So think of like how Colt Cabana has his podcast, The Art of Wrestling, and they're like, and also Jericho too, where they're like, hey, I interviewed this person for this event at this time, so now we're gonna go listen to it. That type of thing. Like, I would like to implement that. I will still be having live streams. I do want to bring back, like Tape Study Tuesdays. Maybe not make it a double day. We'll just do like Tape Study Tuesdays where we watch professional wrestling. I will still be on Twitch. If you guys don't know, I'm on twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows. And then I also end up getting Live Space. If you guys don't know about Live Space, it's another alternative to streaming that I'm going to try out. So hopefully either tomorrow, which is Friday, or Saturday, I'm going to be testing that out, and I'll be talking about MLW One Shot there. So if you guys want to follow me over at live.space/Marie Shadows. Let me just double check that. It feels like I said it wrong. No, I was right. It is live.space/Marie Shadows. And I also have my Wrestling Planner 2024 out on Barnes & Nobles. It should be out on Amazon, but Amazon still has it in review and nothing yet has come about it. But it is available on Barnes & Nobles. I would have never thought to say those words. And yeah. It is currently live right now. You could have gotten it on pre-order, but my marketing wasn't that good for it. Listen, in 2024, I'm going to be on top of like my marketing and stuff like that. And I have to get it through my head that I should be showing up on video a lot more so that people can really get to know me, remember my face, remember my name, and remember the stuff that I do. Because essentially, if you are a content creator in this space and do content creation, you got to show your face. You got to, not always be shy. The more that you're shy, the more that you don't open your mouth when you really want something, you're either not going to get paid like how you should due to the amount of hustling that you do, because no one really responds to something that's faceless. Now, in some situations, yeah, they may respond to something that's faceless and you do get, passive income, but you make more money when they see your face. and they could put the name to the face. That's exactly why I decided to do a video for Elgato and make it simple and sweet and think outside the box, because I know everybody, when they're applying for Elgato, is going to be like, hey, I'm a gamer. Hey, I'm a gamer. Hey, I do this fun little thing with the community. That's cool. But what else do you do? You know, always think outside the box if you are a content creator, because then you get lumped in with everybody and they think that everybody does the same thing. No shade thrown to like creators who do that, but just remember to think outside the box. So yeah, back to my wrestling planner. This time is a lot more different sections. There is an open calendar where you can write in, you know, if you decide to get it like in the middle of the year for 2024, you could start there. It's basically open concept this time around. It has a daily show events where you get to write in any type of show that you're going to, or any type of wrestling show that you're watching on TV or in IWTV or something like that. It has a travel budget plan as well for all of my people that travel. It has 2 note sections. It has the 7-star matches. And then I added something new when it comes to the end of 2024, of like when we do the awards and stuff like that. I do have a section called Achievement Unlocked. So whatever achievements that you can think of throughout 2024, whatever you want to get done, like your bucket list, you'll put it there and then you'll check it off. If you'd like to get a copy of the wrestling planner, which I really highly recommend that you do, it is over at Barnes & Nobles. You can either type in One More Match Wrestling Planner 2024, or you can just go to the link down in the description below, where it's going to be very long, and you can order it there, and I'll be grateful for it. I was going to say, like, I was going to be greatly grateful for it, but I really do enjoy making these products for you guys and trying to look up ways, you know, to help out the community in any way, shape, or form. Another thing I want to do in 2024 is also try to get in some Twitter spaces, just random Twitter spaces, talking about wrestling, talking about how to elevate, you know, using Canva, because I created 2 free websites by using Canva, and I think everyone should take advantage of that. If you are a professional wrestler, a content creator, a podcaster, you know, you should take advantage of that by using the free tools available for you. And then when you are able to get a steady income that's like, you know, a lot of money, then you can invest in getting a proper website if you want to, or something like that. I also do want to sort of bring back a Discord, but I don't know. I would need a lot of interest. And this Discord, that if I do bring back a Discord, I can tell you right now that we're not talking about any type of rumors in wrestling. We're going to keep everything kayfabe, and we're going to try to lift each other up by checking in on each other. And then, you know, I would love to do match reviews with wrestlers, give them feedback, think outside the box with them, help them with their characters, help out podcasters with, like, if they want to brainstorm something, like, you know, make it like a workshop type of thing. I just don't know who's interested in it. And, you know, to see how we can do that in a Discord, because Discord has stuff that, you know, has features that I like. It's just that the Discords that I create are never going to be like Nitro Central, if that makes sense. Because if you get the Nitro, you are able to watch things in clarity. You're able to upload like tiny little videos that are more than like 10 megabytes or something like that. Without Nitro, you are very limited when it comes to Discord. So all of my Discords never have Nitro, because that is a monthly charge. And, you know, people are already struggling. So it's like, you know, do I do a Discord? Do I not do a Discord? I would like to do a Discord for the community, but I would need a very active community, and not everything falling on me while I'm trying to do everything else to make content. And that's just me being very honest. That's what happened in the last Discord, that, I try to be very active. They said that if you are active, your community will follow suit. And yeah, here and there, but most of the time it's like, why do you join a Discord if you're not going to be active, and then just link drop, when you're going live, when you're doing this, when you're doing that, and not really contributing to the Discord server itself. And yes, sometimes I am guilty of that too, but on the back end, I am creating a lot of content to push out to people to watch and enjoy. The other thing new that I created is a Fourth Wall account. So Fourth Wall is very, very innovative. Fourth Wall combines what you'll get from Patreon and other merchandise places and streamer stuff, and puts it all in one place. And I am totally in love with Fourth Wall. So heading into 2024, all of my content, behind the scenes stuff, vlogs, podcasting, posts and stuff like that will be on Fourth Wall. And yes, I still have my newsletters, and I created another new newsletter because I was burnt out and I wanted to push through burnout, which is not something I suggest. And I created Wrestle Tales to start my writing journey to, to basically flex my writing muscles, and I have that. But Fourth Wall will be where everything is going to be at. That's going to be the hub. So there's no longer going to be a Patreon. There's no longer going to be a Ko-fi. I want everyone to come to my Fourth Wall store, which also has memberships and merch and streamer stuff. And that's like the central hub for everything because it has everything that I want. I will be talking about it in detail at a later date when I'm able to settle down and think about how I want to put all the pieces together. That will be over at marieshadows.substack.com. And you guys will get, again, more details there. So it is Fourth Wall. Fourth Wall connects with my LiveSpace account, connects to my Twitch account. The cool thing about Fourth Wall is that if I'm streaming on Twitch and you guys decide to either gift someone a membership or gift them clothing, you guys can through Twitch subs. I haven't tested it out yet. And then if you also want to get a membership to Fourth Wall, you don't have to click on the link to leave the Twitch channel just to go do it, right? You could do it directly as a Twitch sub because I have connected Fourth Wall with Twitch in order to give you guys discounts on any type of membership that you guys want to have with me via Fourth Wall. And that's a lot of directness with me as a creator and you as the fan, and if you want that, that's available. I have not tested it out. I want to test it out soon, and hopefully soon I get to test it out via Twitch. And so yeah, I might have missed stuff. I'm only going a little bit faster now because I have to get ready soon for the event tonight. But just know that for 2023, my mental has been up and down. My mental health has definitely been up and down through the year. But just know that you guys don't really have to be overly concerned. It's just the way of being a content creator that just happens. Because again, my goal for 2024 and beyond is to sign a wrestling contract. And I would love to sign a New Japan Pro Wrestling contract because that's the company that I really want to work for. That's the company that I really want to, make better for the years to come. And, I love what I do and I'm not going to stop. And I really overthink this profession a lot. And I love to do a lot of entertainment stuff for you guys. I love to go out and travel and do vlogs at wrestling events like how I used to and show them off. And I love to meet new people. I love to network with people. I love to, give advice if I'm ever asked to give advice on things. It's about me giving back to the community and sharing my knowledge for what I know, and how to do things. You know, if I know how to do it, I'll tell you. If I don't, I'll probably tell you, oh, go talk to this person or that person if I know. I want to do more commentary gigs. I want to travel to the United States and take you guys along with me as like live streams and vlogging and, do all of that stuff for you, because I want to make it in this business and I want you guys there on the front row with me, and to let you guys know that whatever aspirations and dreams that you guys have for 2024 and beyond, you guys can do it. Just do one step at a time, like one foot in front of the other. Write down, how you're feeling, journal your stuff. So yeah, journal your stuff, and then, prioritize, do things one step at a time, and eventually the things that you want will happen. And if they don't happen, you could just pivot, look back on it and be like, all right, cool. Now you know how to, I don't want to use the phrase do better, get better. But if anything doesn't go your way, that's totally okay. It wasn't probably meant for you, and that's okay. It may come back later for you, but at that very moment, if you don't get what you want to get, there's always other opportunities that are around the corner. Don't be so hung up on the one opportunity that you didn't get. So I'm rooting for everybody in 2024. I'm rooting for myself in 2024, and I hope that this little mini update podcast episode, inspired you, did something, let you guys know that I'm still okay. I'm awesome. I'm great. And tonight I'm going to be covering some wrestling and getting a clear head and networking with people and continue to take you on this journey with me, because I love each and every single one of you guys. Without you guys, there wouldn't be this. There wouldn't be Marie Shadows. And I really love that you guys are here. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with people, and make sure to check the description down below to order your wrestling planner for 2024, and to also support me wherever I am. Love you guys.